We learn in the color code of awareness that when it's time to go from condition orange to condition red, you gotta act. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson. Today's lesson comes to us from Manila in the Philippines, and it shows us the attempted ambush of an officer that turns into an officer-involved shooting. It's going to teach us some important lessons here about knowing your color code of awareness and actually practicing it so that in the moment you act instead of react. So these guys, the three of them on their motorcycles, and you can see that this is in Manila from the news story overlays, are looking for trouble. And you don't see three guys on a moped very often in the United States, of course, but it's not completely uncommon. But what you just saw there is that guy pulled something out of his coat, and it's a gun. And so they kind of wait for this officer to come around here, but he's very aware, as you can see, and he doesn't waste any time. Pulls his gun and pops that one dude. That guy's done. And if you go read the news story, you got to translate it from Tagalog. There, this other guy is injured. We saw a shot that the officer took, and then the other two get on the motorcycle and off they go. And this one is over with the officer finishing up by taking a couple of shots. I want to think about a couple of significant lessons from this one here. See, these guys are out looking for trouble, and that exists. Real evil exists in the world. We have to be prepared to protect ourselves against it. They are trying to ambush this officer, and you see the guy, he's got the gun in hand because he wants to be ready to ambush in the moment. Remember, one of the most significant things as self-defenders that we have to be ready for is to survive the ambush. Now, the officer is doing a really good job here because he knows something's wrong. He's just, you could see his creep alarm's going off, his spidey senses. He's got his hand on his gun because he's worried. These guys are looking to launch that ambush on him, but he is aware. And if your awareness is strong, you get pre-attack indicators, and he doesn't waste any time. He sees these guys, that guy's got a gun, they're waiting on him, and he goes ahead and pulls the trigger. Now, we can have a discussion all day long as to whether or not that was a little too early, but knowing what they know in the Philippines and knowing the problems that they've had with law enforcement, I don't blame the guy a bit. Now you notice he moves like crazy. That looks like a ballet move style there, but it's a wet environment, and he's moving and doing the best he can. One thing I do want to talk about here at the end is we see this guy waiting for his buddy to get on the moped to get off there. As we see that last shot there on the left, it skips off of the puddle there. You got to make sure that your marksmanship is strong because you're accountable for every bullet that leaves the end of your gun. At the end of the day, this officer did the best he could. He was, applauded on the news story if you go read it in the description. And at the end of the day, he covered his asp.